Hey everyone! The previous schedule really wasn't working for me, so here we have a revised schedule. You can see me live on Kick at these times. Thanks for stopping in. Happy to see you. This one right here on Black Fragility. There's two different mental disorders that people are going through that I'm noticing personally. There's Black Fragility and there's white guilt, and the white guilt needs to stop. It's like it's a mind virus. You're being taught to hate yourself because you're born the wrong way. Oh, I have privilege because I was born white, and so I should feel ashamed of myself. Like, what? Like, I'm not saying you should have pride in who you are just because you were born that way, but you shouldn't feel ashamed either. Like, come on, man, that's retarded.
Christmas is next week already, and a lot of people haven't finished their shopping and are still out hunting for bargains, but few are as clever and as unethical as this Walmart shopper who revealed her secret to bargain hunting, so to speak, on social media. And I'll give you
that 5-finger discount, right?
One guess as to what her demographic is.
Listen, y'all, I cannot make this up. Somebody dropped a receipt at Walmart. I went and picked it up.
Like in the parking lot when she was on the way in?
When they got everything that was on the receipt, put it in my basket. Then the man at the door said, "Can I see your receipt?" I said, "Yes, sir." So I just got down for $95.10. Ain't God good?
Ain't God good?
Yeah, that was an act of God. Yeah, nice interpretation, you stupid.
I think you're worshiping.
I'm gonna watch what I say.
Satan, lady.
For real.
And speaking of Christmas shopping, tomorrow, Tuesday, December 16th, is the last day to order anything from markdice.com and get it in time for Christmas. But because you are...
I'm not gonna show it. I do have a store, Etsy, Serenity Affirmations serenityaffirmations.com/Etsy. I have tote bags, I have blankets, I have shirts, all designed by me using AI art. I think they look cool. The store might still be open as of right now. Hopefully you can go purchase something. It would help me out a lot, and I'd appreciate it.
Are now officially a slacker. Someone telling you that this day was coming soon. You have to pay a few dollars more for rush shipping, but use the promo code SLACKER at the checkout. You could save 20% off. Also, there is a new digital gift card which you can buy, and then it just emails the link to somebody, and then they can click it and it'll bring them to the store, and then they can activate and use that gift card at any time in the future. So head on over to markdice.com, get your Trump Claw sweatshirts for Christmas dinner to make them extra special. Also a bunch of new drinkware there, all the classic designs available in coffee mugs and beer glasses, as well as the usual shirts and other merch. So head on over to markdice.com or click the link in the description below and check them out. And speaking of the usual suspects and their behavior patterns regarding shopping, here is an interesting press conference from a sheriff in Pennsylvania recently.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for being with us.
I just realized Mark Dice on the left side of the screen, as is my avatar, so I'm going to move her on the other side. So many videos we watched today has had the avatar of the other person on the right, so let's just not be rude to Mark Dice here.
This today, I think I have a very interesting press conference. First and foremost, I want to compliment the Cocoa Tigers. They won the championship after finishing the season 15-0.
Wait for it.
It was the Atlantic Coast Youth Athletics Association. And they beat the Thoroughbreds 26-6. I mean, they didn't just beat them, they ran over them. And the Thoroughbreds were from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So, Cocoa Tigers, you did it the right way. That's teamwork with great young men doing the right thing. Now I want to introduce you to 8 of the Thoroughbreds. And here they are. You look at the Thoroughbreds.
And we're noticing a pattern. The same pattern that repeats itself every single day.
And you find out, what were they doing? What were they doing on Saturday morning? Well, let me tell you what they were doing. They Ubered from where they were staying They had come from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, down to the Dick's Sporting Good in Posner Park.
Well, that's because they're athletes, right? I mean, that's certainly normal behavior.
Not only did they Uber down there to shop, they had no intentions of paying for their product. So they came into the store in two groups, and they began to systematically steal product.
What a surprise.
And that's exactly what they did. They stole, and they stole, and they stole, and they stole, and they stole.
Wow.
Yeah. How do you like that?
Well, it's what you should expect.
This is everything that they stole. And guess what? As we've said before, you can't go any place, anytime that you're not on a camera.
Thankfully, the usual suspects still haven't figured that out after, I mean, what, like 20 years, 25 years of HD security footage all over? But it's incidents like this, which happen every single day, every single time the minute hand on a clock moves in certain areas, that some local officials are uncomfortable.
What was the joke? What was the joke? Next Nardes. 13% of the wizards perform 50% of the black magic. You notice the pattern. It's got to be stopped. It's got to be stopped.
Releasing the mugshots of people who've been arrested for crimes. Or in the case of the San Francisco BART officials, it's like the train system over there, up there, they decided to stop releasing the surveillance tapes after there was an ongoing problem of robberies because of fear of racial stereotyping. Let me just rephrase that in order to...
They're withholding evidence. This is insane. You're intentionally withholding evidence so that people don't understand don't see the fact that yes, if the person most likely to rob you is a black person, you probably should not be near them because they're probably going to rob you. Like, this is unbelievable, dude. And only in California would something like this happen, or New York, I think. Screw New York. I'm happy. I used to live there. I'm thankful every single day I do not live in New York anymore. Thank you, God.
To continue to cover up the actual crime statistics because we all know that 13 do 50. But because black crime...
Apparently I need to edit what I just said out because nobody on YouTube is saying the full facts there. Everyone's being censoring themselves. So stupid.
Crime is systematically swept under the rug by mainstream media, suppressed by social media algorithms, and completely ignored by Democrats in Congress. The usual suspects are rarely ever confronted with the reality of their bad behavior and its effects on their community and the country. And so when they occasionally are faced with a mirror showing who they actually are and what society thinks of them, then they have a stage 4 black fragility meltdown. Like the guy who filmed this video. It's so bizarre, I can't even begin to describe it. You just have to see it. Obviously, this mentally handicapped kid used the little N-word in the guy's presence. Probably just happened to see him and then just muttered it aloud to himself, having probably a high degree of pattern recognition. And then this happened.
Make sure you tell your son to watch his mouth. He's using derogatory terms.
He's not my son.
Well, whoever he is.
He's a special needs.
She's a caretaker. She said, obviously, he's special needs.
Cannot make him stop.
He can stop saying that. How did he learn the word?
He learned it from people at school.
So why he
His
using
family
it?
doesn't talk like that.
So why he using it against other people?
He's special needs, sir.
But he
You
know.
understand that?
So why he know what to call me? Come on, man, get out of here. You're on camera.
You don't understand.
I don't
He
need to
has a
understand.
genetic disorder.
But he's smart enough to know.
And despite that, he is obviously clearly smarter than the guy filming this.
I was gonna say, you're like, the kid's retarded or something, right? but the guy recording is more retarded. Like, what the hell, man?
Video.
It's not right.
But he knows where to use the word
Okay,
at.
leave me
And
alone.
who's to use it too.
Leave me alone.
Then get out of here.
Actually, Tyrone, he
She was leaving. She was leaving, and you bothered her, like, get out of
may
here.
not have learned it.
Like, low IQ. Come on, just you get all offended. Oh, that's fragility. That's the fragility right there. You're getting offended by this kid who, or whatever the hell he is, or whatever issues he's got. Like, obviously he's not doing it on purpose, but you can't stop yourself from being offended. Really, you're a retard. You're a retard.
In school, there may have been another reason.
I learned it by watching you.
That's probably the case, and we all know how a certain group of people reacts when they hear that.
And yeah, like, I'm pretty sure what he said was the N-word. Like, that seems to be the case here. And of course, you yourself, you people, I don't care how that sounds. Get offended. Get offended. You people use the term all the time, and then somebody else uses it. Oh no! How dare you use that word? Like, either it's offensive all the time or it's offensive none of the time. Pick one, because we're not playing this game anymore. Get over yourself. Seriously.
Little word, I'd say half of them actually don't get offended. They just use it as a way to leverage power over white people. The other half, obviously, due to various cognitive disorders, such as a low ability for temperament,
Either everyone can say it or no one can say it. I'm sick of these games, dude.
regulation, and low impulse control, then
And yes, I do say it in the privacy of my own home because I don't give a crap how it makes you feel, because you're not around to hear me say it. It's we live in America, damn it. Freedom of speech. I do say it, and I won't be saying it on stream only because TOS doesn't allow me to. But if I could, if TOS did, I would say it, even if it offended you. So screw you. Nut up or shut up.
and just fly into an angry rage. Like supposed comedian Roy Wood, who is a panelist on a weekend show on CNN that's dubbed a comedy show, which is like a ripoff of The Daily Show. Seriously, on the weekend, on like Saturday nights, CNN has a supposed comedy show, a wannabe Daily Show. And here he is on a podcast talking about how he recently learned some of his ancestry, and his ancestors were slaves, which means that he actually should be thankful that they were brought here as slaves, because
How fortunate you are that your own people, your own ancestors sold your own people into slavery so that you could be here instead of back in Africa where you were, where your ancestors were. How lucky for you that you get to live here instead of over there, because our people, the ancestors of the white man bought your ancestors and brought you here. How lucky you are. You're welcome.
otherwise, if they weren't, then he most likely would have been born in a dirt hut in Africa.
By the way, I'm not white. I'm Hispanic, so it's definitely not my ancestors who bought them. But I'm just saying, like, you're welcome.
Never even owning any shoes. But of course, he just can't get over something that happened 400 years ago, and is so psychotic about it that he admitted this.
Found the white family that purchased the first black wood of my bloodline off the slave ships in Charleston.
Yep.
Of course, that were enslaved and put on the ships by other black people in Africa.
Right.
They always
Right.
want to forget about that part.
That's what we came off of.
If I wanted to today,
Like they act as though whites from back then, just atrociously evil, came to lands that didn't belong to them. They didn't deserve to be at. Came out with nets and spears and said, "We're taking you with us. You're coming with us now." Like, no, that's not what happened. What happened was you were sold by your own people. Whose fault is that? Is that the white man's fault? Yeah, I suppose if you want to play victim, it's easier to do it that way. But yeah, come on, man, ridiculous.
I could find the white wood descendants in southern Georgia and pull up on their house. One day I will.
Yeah.
The descendants, because 400 years later, they're still to blame, right? Retarded. You're retarded. And if you go to jail after pulling up on them, as you say, you deserve to be there, you dumbass.
They ain't got no money though. I Zillowed they crib. They broke. Like, yeah.
Which is one of the many reasons why we're seeing more and more white people like this, whose black fatigue has just boiled over.
Woman who lives in Raleigh, I suffer from tremendous anxiety.
She says that anxiety and the women's behavior pushed her to act as she did.
I'm not going to say I'm sorry to them because they kept pushing at it. So, and that's all I'd really like to say.
What about your use of the N-word?
I used that word because they forced me into it.
If you act like one, you get called one. You don't like it? Stop acting like one. I don't give a shit.
Do you see how that's incredibly offensive?
Who cares?
Yes, I do. That's why I said it.
Yeah.
I would say it again to them.
And people like Shiloh Hendricks and the Cinnabon worker in Wisconsin, who both had experienced high degrees of Somali immigrant fatigue. Not to mention the great Lily Gaddis, who has taken the torch of white women really expressing how they actually feel about certain people and ran with it.
Would you use the N-word out of interest?
Yes.
You would?
I do, quite frankly.
I'm with her.
Come to think of it,
I literally do it every day. Every day. I don't care. I'm from New York. I heard it all the time growing up. I don't care. You don't like it, don't use it. I'm sorry. We all can say it or nobody can. I don't care.
Said it a few times over the weekend myself, and I'd like to hear Matt Walsh admit that. I'd like to hear other YouTubers, others who are supposedly on the front lines of the culture war admit that. Not to hear them.
I mean, I can't. I just started. I'm not in the front lines or nothing. But hey, right here, Mark. I'm right here. I definitely say it every single day. You hear me? Every single day. I don't care.
Say it on stream. That would be cutting off your nose to spite your face in some cases. Someone like Matt Walsh actually could do that and really should do that in order to push the envelope even further, to move the Overton window even further. But have any of them ever admitted that they use that term even a couple times a year in their own personal life off camera? And I would say if you don't use that word at least maybe twice a year, let's just say, to be extremely conservative, I would say maybe average should be about once a quarter at least. Once every 3 months, it's probably applicable. For others, it's, probably on a weekly basis, depending on what kind of topics you're talking about. But if that word isn't part of your vocabulary, if you're one of these conservatives, like all these mainstream conservative Inc. wannabes who, pretend like they've never said it, or if they did, it was a long time ago, and they didn't really mean it, you are a loser. Of course, Lily Gaddis gets labeled a white supremacist because she's a beautiful white woman who has great pattern recognition ability and is one of the rare ones who isn't afraid to describe certain kinds of behavior that she sees. But in reality, it's people like Michelle Obama who are actually white supremacists because she views white people as better than her. And that's clear with discussions like this.
Let me explain something to white people. Our hair comes out of our head naturally in a curly pattern. So when we're straightening it to follow your beauty standards, we are trapped by the straightness. That's why so many of us can't swim and we run away from the water. People won't go to the gym because we're trying to keep our hair straight for y'all.
And this video from 5 years ago during the Summer of Love, the George Floyd insurrection, went viral again over the weekend after somebody resurfaced it, and it got millions and millions of views. Because obviously not everybody is a total news junkie plugged in all the time. So it was new to a lot of people. So I'll just play a little bit for you, just in case you happened to have missed it. It's a bunch of celebrities apologizing for being white.
I take responsibility.
I take responsibility.
I take responsibility.
I take responsibility for every unchecked moment.
For every time it was easier to ignore than to call it out for what it was.
You mean for ignoring?
Pride is a deadly sin. If you're proud of who you are just because you are what you are, like I'm not proud simply because I was born Hispanic. I'm not proud to be Hispanic. I just am Hispanic. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying have pride in who you are, but at least have some fucking self-respect. Be like, oh, I'm ashamed of who I am just because I was born this way. Like, that's retarded. Retarded! Damn.
Black crime, for ignoring black fragility, you should be held accountable for that. Shame on you.
Every not so funny joke. Every unfair stereotype.
Racist jokes are hilarious, and stereotypes are just pattern recognition.
Every blatant injustice, no matter how big or small.
Every time I remained silent.
Every time I explained away police brutality.
Doing this does not make you a good person. Just saying.
Every time you lied about what really happened when black suspects got themselves killed.
Or turned a blind eye.
When I didn't post about it on Twitter, I'm sorry. I think we've all had enough of them, and I'll save the discussion for the black fragility surrounding Santa Claus being white, maybe for another time. Why isn't there more diversity in Santa Claus? Because Santa's white snowflake, and so is Trump Claus, and like I said...
Anyway, he's plugging the merch again. The video's over. We heard the spiel already. But yeah, that was Mark Dice, and I want to say, like, both of these mind viruses that exist in you know, black and white culture respectively needs to be stopped. Between that and suicidal empathy, there's a lot going on in Western culture that just needs to stop. Hopefully, inevitably, I get enough of a following doing this that I add my voice to the choir, like I say, and I can have an impact, just like hopefully Mark Dice, hopefully Nux Nor is having in the political discourse, in the cultural discourse, and we move forward into a better position in societally as a whole. Whoo! Anyway, yeah, that's the video. Like, subscribe, and follow me on these platforms. And remember to think critically.